This is a biology class. Where did we stop yesterday exactly? We completed mitochondria, right? Okay, we'll move on to plastids. Okay, so let us start with plastids. They are found only in plants. And some photosynthetic protist. Protists like euglenoids. They are surrounded by two membranes. They develop from small body called as protoplastids. The protoplastids, they are seen in meristematic regions. Types of plastids, there are three types. Chloroplast, second one is chromoplast, and the third one is leucoplast. Okay, copy this thing now, I'll explain. Are you guys done? Okay, so we'll just move on with plastids. Plastids are also one more type of membrane bound organelle because like you are able to see that they are surrounded by two membranes. Okay, so they'll be having two membranes. So where are these plastids arising from? These plastids are arising from some bodies, small bodies, which we call it as protoplastids. So this protoplastid is seen only in the meristematic region. So you know what is meristematic region, right? So you might have studied in your ninth standard tissues chapter. So whenever a plant cell is dividing, the first division happens in the meristematic zone. Okay. So you have this plastids will be like kind of having that thing. There are three types of plastids. One is what we call it as chloroplast. Second one is what we call it as chromoplast. And the third one is what we call it as leucoplast. All these three things are types of plastids. So these three are very, very different. Okay. We will be trying to study about what is the role of all these things. Okay, so now we'll move on further. We need to know the type of this chloroplast. Okay, so let me just try to give a comparison table sort of thing. They are green color plastids. They are red or yellow color plastics. And these are colorless. Okay. They are photosynthetic. These are non-photosynthetic. These are also non-photosynthetic. They impart green colors to leaf and trap sunlight. For photosynthesis. They contain okay. They impart red or yellow color to fruits, flowers, or parts of plants. They are storage structures in roots, seeds, and young leaves. Okay. They contain chlorophyll, they contain chromophyle, fat soluble carotenoids, they do not have pigments. Colorless means it is not like white, it is like transparent. Generally, plastics are pigment containing bodies that will perform multiple functions. Yeah, there is something called as carotenoids. Carotenoids is also pigment only. Something that will impart yellow or red color. Yellow, red, orange, and all those things. Okay, someone is asking me why is that mitochondria and plastids are not included in the endomembrane system. Okay, if you see the origin of the other organelles, the four things that we studied in endomembrane system, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, okay, and then like you have your vacuoles, and then like you have your lysosomes. All those things are formed from the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, everything develops from the endoplasmic reticulum. Whereas you talk about mitochondria or you talk about this plastid, they are not formed from the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, they are like independent autonomous bodies which are formed. So we consider them to be not part of the endomembrane system. It is just a membrane bound organelle. Okay, I don't know the person who named the word plastid. Let me refer and tell you. Yeah, the word endo signifies endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so let us just understand. Okay, someone has found it that it's Ernst Haeckel. Plastids were discovered by Ernst Haeckel. Okay, it is discovered by Ernst Haeckel. So you guys note it down. Discovered and named. Okay. Sir, will we study modification of cell membrane in this chapter? Already we are learning too much compared to your CBSE textbook. So we will not be studying those things and all. Okay. So now we will try to look at it. So amyloplast, I'll tell you, Maria, just wait for some time. Is euglena is also a plastida? No, euglena contains plastid. Euglena is an organism. Plastid is an organelle. It appears to be a bigger confusion, not just a little confused. Okay, so listen here, children. So you have this thing, you have these types of plastids which are there. You have a chloroplast, you have a chromoplast, you have a leucoplast. Okay, so the basic difference is what kind of pigments they are containing or what is the function of all these things. Okay, so basically, you have this functionality of it. Chloroplasts are photosynthetic. What is the meaning of photosynthetic? They are involved in photosynthesis. Whereas if you talk about chromoplasts are non-photosynthetic, as well as leucoplasts are also non-photosynthetic, which means they are involved in other functions. Okay, the chloroplast is green in color, chromoplast will be red or yellow in color, leucoplast will be colorless plast. Okay, what is the main role of chloroplast? Chloroplast will impart green color to the leaves, and also they will trap sunlight for photosynthesis. This is something which we know already. Whereas chromoplast are not found in leaves. So maybe it might be found in some leaves, but which is predominant in leaves? The chloroplasts are predominant in leaves. But the chromoplasts are predominant in structures like your fruits. Okay, so you can see them mostly in fruits or flowers which are having that red or yellow color, red, yellow, orange colors. So those kind of things will have like lots of chromoplasts. Okay, and then whereas leucoplasts can be seen in roots, seeds, and young leaves. So these are the areas where you can see them. And what is the major function? They will store food. Okay, so there are like two types of leucoplasts which you have to know. One is what we call it as amyloplast. Amyloplast is a type of leucoplast. Then you have something called as a elioplast. So these are all types of leucoplasts. Okay, so what will they do? So this amyloplast will store starch. Okay, and there is one more type which is called as aleuroplast. So this amyloplast will store starch. This elioplast will store fats. And this aleuroplast will store proteins. Okay, whenever leucoplast is storing starch or carbohydrate substance, we call it as amyloplast. Okay, whenever it is storing fats, we call that leucoplast as elioplast. And then we have a protein storing leucoplast, which we call it as aleuroplast. Okay, the chloroplast will have chlorophyll, whereas here it will be having some pigments which are called as carotenoids. Okay, and then here they do not have any pigments at all. So this is the okay. So please quickly copy this thing down. We can move on further. Abhishek, you please type the spelling of please correct, then I will put it. Okay, I'll put slide number 1, but you please type the spelling of please correctly. It is different pigments at different combinations. Basically, you have 3 primary colors. After that, every other color is like just a extension of it. Red, blue, and green are the 3 major colors. Proto means something primitive. Plastid means plastid. So something which is a precursor to plastid is called as protoplastid. Okay, someone is asking me, sir, leaves do not contain chromoplast, then why do we see yellow leaves? Okay, that is because of a condition which we call it as chlorosis. The chlorophyll will start to die. When the chlorophyll is starting to die, that chlorosis will occur. Okay, it can happen because of magnesium deficiency or deficiency of certain other nutrients. When it is happening, the chlorophyll molecules will not be sufficiently produced. When chlorophyll molecules are not sufficiently produced, you will be able to see the other pigments which are present there. Otherwise, what will happen is this chlorophyll will be like kind of overpowering the other pigments. So as the plant is getting older and older, the chlorophyll will start to reduce, and then you will be getting it. Good. So now we'll just, you can just see this first slide is put up. Okay, can we move on further? I'm just waiting for you guys to finish it off. Okay, people are still writing. Abhishek, are you done? First slide is over. Okay, good. Maria, are you clear about amyloplast? Okay. We do not have doubt clarification for biology. Okay, so now we'll move on to structure of plastids. Okay, so please understand that structure of plastids. Plastids are bound by two membranes. We have seen this thing already. They contain their own DNA. DNA and ribosomes, like mitochondria. They multiply by fission-like process. Okay, so which means you please understand that plastids and all know new plastids will come from older plastids like fission. Okay, so there is a theory which is like kind of like trying to tell that plastids and mitochondria were existing as independent organisms, but later they were consumed in an evolutionary point of time. In an evolutionary point of view, these were like kind of like engulfed by the prokaryotes to become eukaryotes. Okay, that is how they say that thing. But still, that theory is like kind of unverified, or like we don't have clear cut evidences for that thing. Okay, so generally they say that this was like kind of like a independently performing structure, which was like gradually incorporated into the eukaryotic system. So that is what people think about it. But still, it is all like kind of like if you are going to study evolution and then if you're going to study about cytology, probably you will learn all those things. But this is too much for the 11th standard level. So you just understand that plastids are semi-autonomous structures which will have their own DNA and ribosomes, similar to mitochondria. They will be like capable of fission like process. Okay, which means what? One plastid can give rise to two plastids by binary fission. So it can split, it can grow, it can split, and then like it can give rise to smaller plastids. Okay, so these are the important points as far as plastids are concerned. So now what we will do is we have to study in detail about chloroplast. Yes, plastids are semi-autonomous because they contain their own DNA. They are not very much dependent on the organism's DNA. Some of the proteins which are required to produce, required for the function, is produced by themselves. Have you written this thing? Children, are you done? Can we move on? Okay, now we'll study about chloroplast. Please copy this diagram. Okay, if you're seeing this one thing isolated in a zoomed out condition, you will see okay, I'll use white color. Yeah, dots is the stroma. There is a fluid which is filled in that area. That is what we call it as stroma. Okay, so let me explain the structure. You are able to see plastids. Okay, this is structure of chloroplast. If you're talking about chloroplast is covered with two membranes will be there. One is the outer membrane and the other one is the inner membrane. So what is this covering? So this is covering a fluid which we call it as stroma. Okay, I'm not using the word stoma. Stoma means it is opening of stomata. Okay, this is not stoma. This is stroma. R is there. Okay, the stroma is present throughout this particular chloroplast. Okay, in which you are able to see some stacks, coin-like structures. Coin, it is looking like a stack of coin. So what is that coin-like structure? We call them as grana. We call them as grana. So this grana are interconnected by small lamellar structures, which we call it as stroma lamellae or frets of lamellae. We will generally call them as frets of lamellae, or we call them as stroma lamellae, because this is lamella which is found in the stroma region. We call it as stroma lamellae. Okay. So where is this photosynthesis is going to happen? So you'll see that if you're going to take one of the granum and if you're going to zoom it, and if you're going to see the structure, you will be able to see a membranous structure. Okay, that membrane is called as the thylakoid membrane. So you have a inner membrane, you have a outer membrane. This is the thylakoid membrane. Okay, the thylakoid membrane is like kind of enclosing a fluid, which is called as, I mean, like empty an area which is called as lumen. Okay, so if this is the lumen, the surrounding area of the thylakoid membrane will have the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is present in the intermediate regions of the thylakoid membrane. So it is present here. Okay, so are you guys understanding? So that is where the chlorophyll is present. So this is the structure of chloroplast. You learn about dark phase and all in photosynthesis, not in this chapter. This entire grana is made up of the thylakoid membrane. Both the membranes together, we call it as the thylakoid membrane. So this entire structure is the thylakoid membrane. Okay. So this entire thing is what we call it as thylakoid membrane. In between the thylakoid membranes only, you have the chlorophyll. Okay, it is not the inner layer or the outer layer. Both the things put together, we call it as a thylakoid membrane. You'll study about these structures in detail when you are studying photosynthesis. Okay, so now you have to understand only the cellular part of it. The functionality part of it and all, you'll study it in the photosynthesis chapter. Because there you'll be studying in detail about this. I'm not sure from which language these are from. For me, these are all English. I don't know if there is a name for each of these talk. Okay, we'll move on further. Okay, some notes kind of thing you need to write. The membranes are called chloroplasts, are called chloroplast envelope. The membranes are 5 to 6 nanometer thick. The membrane encloses a fluid called as stroma. Fluid filled space. So the space is called as stroma. Chloroplast consists of a system of flattened fluid filled sacs called grana. Granum is singular. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Thylakoids. The stack of thylakoids okay. There are 40 to 60 grana in a chlorophyll. Okay, please copy this thing down. I just have 8 minutes. I have to complete chloroplast today. Are you guys done? Yeah, 40 to 60 grana will be there in the chloroplast. The chloroplast consists of a system of flattened fluid filled sacs called as thylakoids. What is the meaning of it? It means whatever is there inside the lumen is fluid filled. They are not just solids. Excuse me. Okay, can we move on? The grana are connected by stroma lamellae or intergranal lamellae. Okay. Photosynthesis happens thylakoid membrane and stroma. Okay, actually, photosynthesis has two phases. One is what we call it as a light phase, things which will happen during when the light is available, and one which is called as dark phase. Okay, things which will happen without the requirement of sunlight. Okay, those are called as the dark phase. So the light phase will happen in the thylakoid membrane, and the dark phase will happen in the stroma. And the last point, stroma consists of DNA, circular, double ribosomes, and enzymes for dark reaction. Okay, so with this thing, structure is over. I just have to write functions now. With functions, chloroplast will be over. Plastids will be done. The function is very simple. Prime center of photosynthesis. Converts light energy chemical energy. Okay, so with this thing, we are done with the plastids. You will learn what is NADPH and all in photosynthesis. Okay, that is a kind of chemical energy which is produced in photosynthesis. You will study about NADPH and all in photosynthesis, not now. You will study in detail. Okay, so with this thing, we are completing your plastids. These are functions of chloroplast, not of plastids. Briju, you can see it on your own. I'm not showing any pictures now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You still have 2 or 3 more classes to complete this chapter. Easily 3 to 4 days. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you very much, children.